What effect will Trump's administration policies have on our local economy? Please welcome the top North County agent, Ryan Street.
There he is. Street, how you doing, man?
Good, Derek. Good. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So, a couple things to touch on today. First of all, we have a new president.
We do.
And new administration coming in. We want to talk about their effect on the local economy, local real estate. We also want to touch on the current market conditions for real estate here in San Diego. And then, of course, this inventory shortage, which seems to be the main driving factor for the price increases that we've seen. Some of them have been crazy.
Nuts, yeah, for sure.
I've seen. So let's start with the new administration coming in. What do you believe that the impact will be here locally with that?
I think it'll be positive. The military is going to be built back up. At least that's fair to speculate on. More money pouring into the area. Additionally, I think the catalyst to continue to propel things will be the tax cuts he's talked about, both personal and corporate. Mm-hmm. If that happens, it's going to put money back in the pocket of corporations to hire more people, or individuals to have larger percentage discretionary spending every month.
I noticed when Trump won that the defense stocks really did well. And so I immediately thought, wow, that's going to be good for San Diego because we got a lot of those companies here.
Biotech too.
Yeah, that as well. So it looked to me like that was like immediately, wow, big win for San Diego.
Right.
Whether, we voted, I think, mostly for Hillary here. But, those Trump voters like me, those darn Trump voters.
It's deplorables.
There's deplorables. This is actually a big win for San Diego because, from the local economy perspective.
Right.
Because those companies that are going to benefit a lot from those circumstances are here. A lot of them are.
Right.
And that's so that's going to be a good thing. Do you think that will get all the way to the real estate market?
You can only, I think so. I strongly believe that actually. San Diego is, America's greatest city, more or less, depending on, what you like, I suppose.
I think it is.
It's a pretty nice place. So,
yeah, not bad.
I'm from Minnesota, where if you jump on weather.com right now, you're going to not want to be there. But it's going to have to. There's only so much dirt. And the county's developed in the coastal areas about as far as it can go. What I'm seeing is the flip business is pretty much dead. Where investors are transitioning to is buying lots and developing new builds.
Really?
If you go up I-15, say north of the 78 intersection, just about any piece of property that could be built on has been prepped, and if there's not a sign in front of it, there's one coming. Things are getting tidied up. You've had, the Lilac Hills thing got voted down in November, but it's not going away. It will happen eventually. How it's structured, nobody knows. But, there's millions of people want to live here, and there's only so much. There's only so many houses.
For,
so
the last decade, right?
For
way
real,
more people moving here than we do have units being built.
Right. And builders have transitioned from just building arbitrarily and hoping they sell to building a phase, making sure it sells to a certain percentage before they start phase two. Mm-hmm. So they don't get caught holding a bunch of inventory should the market change.
A lot of multifamily too.
Absolutely.
Those went away from the whole condo idea and just said, let's build apartment buildings.
Absolutely.
A lot of those still going in, especially in a downtown.
Mm-hmm. And the rental market is also what's, I think, contributing to the price increases. The clients that I have that have sold and have not opted to buy it right away, they're facing 10 to 14% rent increases from their existing lease to the next one. Landlords are already indicating what the rent will be when this lease expires, and it's significant.
And on the other side of that, there are a lot of investment property owners who are unaware of all this and who have neglected to increase rent, and they are way behind. Like I know people who are paying way below market value.
Right.
In rent, way below, like $1,000 a month below market value.
Yeah.
A bunch of people. So there, in other words, it still hasn't even, it's so new, it hasn't even caught up to all of the property owners,
for sure,
believe it or not. And that right there, if it had, we would have an even bigger problem on our hands.
Indeed.
As far as the rental shortage and the unit, the housing shortage that we've got.
Right.
So that's definitely an issue. And that's on the rental side. And we also, do you think that the inventory shortage as far as for sale homes Is that the main reason why we're seeing prices go up so much?
It's one of the biggest, if not the main. Supply and demand. Rule 1 economics. If supply is below demand, prices are going up. The interest rate speculation on the interest rate hikes that are coming are driving a lot of folks. I know I have 51 active buyers right now that are looking, and they're looking to close in the next anywhere from 30 to 180 days. A large portion of them have shortened their time frame for getting into a place to even where they're paying to break a lease because their fear is interest. They'll be able to afford less home if they wait too long, and additionally compounding that is with prices going up. The thing I think will offset any interest rate hike is the tax reduction that the president-elect has talked about. I mean, that's if he pulls it off, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it'll be big.
Yeah,
It should have a big impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
well, hopefully,
discretionary
my
income.
fingers are crossed.
Yeah, right. So,
well, I think that the inventory shortage is one of those things that it doesn't last forever. At least you don't think it will. But then you look at certain markets like San Francisco and you go, gosh, it's been like that for years and years and years and years and years there, where there's very few homes that actually hit the market. And that's why the market is so crazy there. I feel like we have a less dense geography to deal with here, but we still have the same supply-demand population growth issue
correct.
Going on. We don't have a lot of people who leave San Diego. People figure it out.
Yeah.
They figure it out. They figure out how to stay. So as a result of that, I mean, even if the market softens, I mean, do you believe that there's room for prices to ever come down at this point?
Eventually, at some point, something will change. I don't know when or what that will be. I try to focus on a 30, 60, 90-day picture, depending on the circumstances of who I'm working with. If the market indications are pointing towards listing sooner than later, I'll do what I can to compel somebody to list sooner than later. But it also ultimately boils down to everybody's individual circumstances. But the inventory thing, I checked this morning, as I do just about every day. I forget the exact number in San Diego County, but total homes available were 4,760, somewhere around there, or translating to 1.6 months of inventory, whereas we know it's average inventory is 6 months, so we're well below that. We've been well below that, and I think sellers, additionally contributing to the low inventory, sellers are much more aware of market conditions, and they're hanging tight unless they have circumstances that really compel them to list now.
That's something that I've noticed in casting for our reality show, When This Listing, talking to a lot of home sellers. There are a lot of people who have been waiting to sell for years because they feel like they're getting paid to wait. Why would we sell now when prices are obviously going up?
Right.
I mean, they're going to be higher in 3 months. They're going to be higher in 6 months. May as well stick it out.
Exactly.
Honey, you think we can stick it out if we're going to make more money? And so you have people stick around. Now that's the big question, though.
Exactly.
When the first shoe drops, how many of the homeowners out there who haven't sold but have wanted to are going to come to the table and go, okay, now it's time?
Right.
And then will that be enough? Will that inventory get swallowed up by the demand, or will we have, a correction as a result? That's the big question.
Ooh, I think that, you're absolutely right. What you're alluding to is sellers identifying, okay, we want to list now, and all of them doing it at the same time, or a lot of them doing it at the same time, and jumping inventory, by 10, 15, 20%, and staying there, for weeks, or adding 10% per week or something like that. But as long as interest rates are low, people maintain, kind of their plan. I think the first potential for that would be, the hot months, June, July, August. Some folks are still kind of tied to the school year, and they need to wait. That would be probably the first risky period, maybe this year. But as far as definitively saying, okay, this is when you need to list, or this is when the market's going to flood with inventory, that I can't say.
Oh yeah, we'd have no idea there.
Right.
It's just a wild, systematic, wild-ass guess.
If that happens, if 5,000 homes come to market in the next 60 days, and we're still maintaining homes that are going pending or closing, are outpacing new listings coming to market for now.
Right.
So
If that were to flip flop,
yeah,
then we'd find out.
then we'd have all the answers we wanted or didn't want. Yeah, so
Well, until then, Mr. Street, thank you for your time.
thanks for having me.
Thanks for
You
coming.
bet.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.